Welcome to the 24K Life podcast. I am your host, Derick Gant. It is time for more 24K Life. You know what? We're bringing in someone, I specialize in the money. And I like talking about the money. However, it behooves me to consistently bring more intelligent, knowledgeable experts on other areas that I'm not that great in. So before we introduce, we want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast, to the video cast. We are excited to add more and more people to our show, and we can only do that with your support and your help. So I want you to meet Lane Bulger. Lane has a multitude of ideas, habits, disciplines, experiences that we know you can grow from. And so we're going to bring Lane on. Lane's going to talk about how sacrifice creates your paradise. I picked this up from him, and I think that it's going to be essential to understanding how to really manifest the life of your dreams. How you doing, my man?
Doing great.
Good, man. We're glad to have you on. You hail from the great state of Alabama.
If you can't tell from the accent.
You can't tell from the accent. Do you say roll tide?
I don't. I grew up a big Auburn fan. My dad. So we actually grew up hating Alabama. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can feel that. Well, I have no preference, man. So whatever you do.
I don't know. Hey, listen, I don't either, man. I don't know. I want to say grew out of that. So.
Okay, there you go. It's all good. So as you heard, man, and as you saw on your profile picture, I put the picture up with you going from okay to crazy fit. And I know it wasn't easy to do that, but before we even jump into that, man, let's talk about like who you are and your background. From my understanding, and you can lay it all out for us. But you own, you're self-employed. You own a business, a sawmill. You also have built your own house with your wife. I saw that you guys cut 95% of the wood.
Yes, sir.
That comprises of your home, and man, you got a keeper right there, bruh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's great. We couldn't do it without her for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your business, man. We'll get into the fitness and into the nutrition, but tell us a little bit about your business that you have going there.
Now, as far as my landscaping and stuff, I started in high school, I guess, and just started cutting grass with my dad always took me to different yards, and I just had that go-getter. I always had that hustler mentality, and I always wanted money. So my dad used to take me to a few yards here and there, and I got hooked up with a guy in high school and started working with him as an older guy and started noticing the money he was making,
Mm-hmm.
And I guess back then $8 an hour was what I was getting paid, and I was like, man, I can do this. I'm already doing it, so one thing led to another, man, and started my own business, went and bought me a mower. And, my dad wanted me to go to college. But I was making more money than most grown men at that time, from cutting grass or whatever. But, of course, you don't want to do that, your body and stuff.
Right.
I got a degree from Faulkner, a business degree. And I just couldn't give up the grass cutting, man. And just stayed doing that. And then one thing led to another, and I guess I'm still here now. Of course, I've ventured off into the fitness, nutrition, business coaching, so I'm doing that too.
Excellent. So I have to assume that your dad was proud of you, even though you went and you make your living from landscaping. He had to be proud that you actually got your degree, and more proud that you took his advice.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, listen, and he grew up in a different time, different era when, if you had a degree, that was the meal ticket, if you could just hit that degree. And even then, I mean, it's still good for certain things, but, a lot of the richest people I know don't have degrees, and so it's just kind of one of those things, man, that knowledge, and,
Right.
So I'm a big advocate in, that attained. I think Mark Twain had a quote, says he never lets I'm going to mess this up. He never lets his education get in the way of his knowledge or whatever it is,
Right.
and, that's kind of where I think the real money's made.
Absolutely, man. I mean, everybody is not made for college or PhDs and master degrees, man. So some people need the street master's degree,
Yeah.
practical experience master's degree. So I'm a big fan of that as well. So, what led you to want to dive into mastering your physical transformation?
Okay, so yeah. Well, anyways, I started watching a guy on YouTube. Well, as I cut grass, this is another thing I've learned through YouTube. I bought YouTube Red so I can listen with my screen black. So I would listen to podcasts. And it's funny you said money because that's what I was really interested in is money, money, money. I was, macroeconomics. And I'd stumbled across a guy. I used to like listening to prison stories,
Mm-hmm.
and from time to time, and I'd ran across this guy that was a fitness nutrition kind of coach, but he was talking a lot about self awareness and those topics, and I'd been listening to him for years, man, and I'd gotten to a low point, just as far as I was chasing this never ending money. I wasn't being fulfilled through that, and got into alcohol a little bit, closet drinking, and I hit a low spot, and I'd just been listening to it forever, saying that he had a cure for it. He had a fix for this, and it was through the nutrition, it was through the fitness. We were searching for that dopamine
Mm-hmm.
through alcohol. You're
Right.
searching for that dopamine through drugs and whatever entertainment and food. And that's what led me to it, man. Like I said, I was not I don't like, even to this day, I'm not a big nutrition, fitness, like guru, bodybuilder. It was just what cured me. The work instills the worth, as what my coach says.
Right.
And pretty much, man, if you're going to be mentally where you need to be or physically where you need to be,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of your billionaires teach this, you got to be physically where you need to be. So it's one of those things. It's not just something for a few people here and there. Everybody really needs this if you're going to be a well-rounded individual, whether that be business, money, being a good parent, whatever it is. It just makes you a better person. So that's why I do it.
Okay, so you started off and you said, "Hey, I had some other issues." So it wasn't like you were overweight and you decided to transform. You had some other issues that you wanted to overcome.
Yes.
And through like watching these videos and listening to this cat over and over, you said, "Let me see what he can do and see what he's talking about and see if this is true." And he basically was saying, "Hey, I can help you with some of these other problems you're having." And
That's
that
right.
solution was through fitness.
That is, yeah, fitness nutrition, man. And when you dig into the science, I don't know are you familiar with Andrew Huberman?
I'm not.
He's a neuroscientist from California, but just listening to those guys explain, high body fat actually messes with your brain and the keto diets. And when you're not getting the proper nutrients, if you don't have the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbohydrates, and the right amount of fats, your brain doesn't work correctly.
Okay.
Like it literally, with fasting, even, the Bible, the Quran, they talk about fasting. Well, the reason why, because your body fat content actually has, everything. You know how like when you eat bad food, it affects you, or when you're sick. So man, when you start linking it all together, it does make sense. You cannot properly be where you need to be without physically being, and just understanding how everything is connected,
Right. So you're saying that fasting is a sort of a detox?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, body fat. And listen, I'm not a scientist, so I don't want to get into this. But I've watched a lot of videos, and I understand from these guys of like your body fat content, and then also how whenever you eat way too much, you just feel like you just need to like it messes with your mental status. So if you're all the time focused on what you're putting in your body and your fuel, it's going to affect your performance mentally, physically, spiritually, all those things. And then just really dialing in that your body's very complex,
Right.
and it needs a certain amount of nutrients, and it doesn't need, needs exactly a certain amount. And that's what my coach taught me. There's a science to it. Very few people do it that way, but just totally knowing like, why did I go to school for as long as I did, went to college, and nobody ever told me exactly what I need to put in my mouth. Because you hear a lot of people talk about they eat healthy, right?
Right.
Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so what's healthy? If apples healthy, right?
Right.
Well, what if you eat 500 apples? Is it healthy? So it just, I know that's redundant, but what does healthy mean?
Right.
And really understand that. And by the way, I don't want anybody to think they're stupid, because I thought that for years. It's like, hey, I thought I eat healthy. I thought I eat whatever, but really understanding that, man, there's an exact number that your body needs, and when you dial that in, man, your mind starts working better, your body, so your confidence comes back, and it's one of those things you got to do, until you really experience it.
So what's the first step, man? You say, listen, you got to dial into, and I don't expect the full entendre, because obviously you can't do that in a quick podcast. But what's the first couple steps to dialing into what you should be doing as an individual? All of us, hey, my book is called the 24K Life Code, because I believe we all have a specific code, including nutrition and fitness, including your workouts, including if you're a morning person or a night person, that you have to figure out how you operate the best. But
absolutely.
But from your expertise, what's the first few steps of trying to dial in that nutrition and fitness standpoint?
Just like you said, everybody's different, and everybody's goals are different. And I know that's cliche and trying to be, but like I said, when somebody signs up, of course, they'll say, hey, look, Lane, I want you to help me out. You send me before pictures. You give me your height, you give me your weight. You tell me what you want to do it, how quick you want to do it. What are you struggling with? And of course, like I said, it's called macro nutrients. So proteins, carbs, and fats.
Okay.
And your goals are going to depend on this. And people track macros all the time. They talk about that, and there's people that are familiar with it. I guess where we're separated too is it's the accountability part of it too. Because, when you go on a journey, it's like anything, about money, where, or any kind of trading or investment. If they always say your first loss is your best loss. You want to lose soon so you can understand it, but it's the same way. If you don't have somebody coaching you through there, and you may not get the results in 24 hours or if the first week, and you may want to give up, it's staying disciplined and consistent and not expecting a result. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like a Warren Buffett of just doing the same thing over and over and going in for that feeling. So when we work out, we're looking for a feeling. We're not looking for those superficial results.
Right.
And when you chase that process and you chase that feeling, the results are going to happen quick. But if you go in there looking, what is it? The watch pot never boils. If you're always looking in the mirror, and I'll hear these people, their weight numbers aren't dropping on the scale, but yet their body's changing. You're gaining more muscle.
Exactly.
And if you don't know that, so I know that's a long-winded answer there, but I would just say, that's where you got to dial in exactly how many you need. And then also just having that plan of, your goals and attach. And then also we offer, Zoom calls once a week, and we help people one-on-one to understand that, those process and those steps that we walk you through when you hit a plateau. It's not really a plateau. It's just something you got to go through.
Right. So basically you're saying step one is to, find somebody or call you, find somebody that can walk you and teach you, maybe give you a shortcut, give you cliff notes, because I don't want to go learn about macros. I don't want to go try to figure out some kind of special formula. So you're saying, hey, step one is to reach out and understand that you need to dial in, especially when you're not dialed in. So I would say that's what I hear.
Absolutely, Derek. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So then once I reach out to you, you're going to schedule a Zoom call, or you're going to do some sort of an assessment, sounds like.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's correct. A bunch of questions, height, weight, pictures before.
That's right.
What are your goals? All right. So we're going to do an assessment. And after we finish that assessment, you're going to, and my goals or our goals or whoever's goals, you're going to lay out a plan.
That's correct.
Okay. And is it a nutrition plan? Is it a fitness plan?
Yes. So it's both. And we have an app called Trainerize. So I'll dial it in. You tell me how many days you want to work out. All right. Or how many days you're able to work out. And we custom fit you a fitness plan.
Okay.
It shows you the reps, and it's really neat, man. It'll show you the reps, the rep ranges, and as you work out, you can keep up with your results. Okay. And then the next week, say you do arms one day, well, the next week you put those numbers in, and it'll show you how much you increased or how much you decreased. So it's tracking progress. And you know this, it's all about competing against yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay. When you go to the gym, nobody wants to go to the gym because they feel like everybody's judging them, and I can't pick up this and they can pick up this, and
Right.
just understanding that you're competing against yourself. And this is the little thing I tell everybody, and I know this sometimes is negative, but everybody is so selfish. They really don't care about you. You know what I mean?
They
I
really
mean, I
don't.
I don't know how else to say that, and I know that's a bad thing, but as far as your coach, I care about my clients. Like the
Right.
only person you should worry about is the person that's telling you this. But
Right.
and listen, and there are people in that gym, and there are good people in the gym that actually do care, and they'll come and tell you that, and
Yeah.
you'll feel that. But the ones that are judging, man, there's insecurity issues.
Right.
And that's what I just try to tell everybody, man. And listen, I used to be so nervous about being on calls and posting pictures, and I just had to realize, man, nobody cares. You
They
know what I
really
mean?
don't.
They
They
really
really
don't.
don't.
And
I tell people all the time that people think about themselves, and this is a scientific statistic. People think
absolutely,
about themselves 95% of the time.
yes,
That only leaves 5% for us to be thinking about other people. I mean,
yeah,
people go, well, what are you talking about? You're sitting here and you're thinking about Lane because you're interviewing them, and I'm really not. I'm asking, am I asking the right questions?
yeah.
Am I giving
How
the
do
right
I look?
answers? You know what
How
I'm
do I
saying?
look?
So, you look
Yeah.
great, bro. You look great. See?
That's what I'm saying. You're saying, yeah. Well, look, man, I'm sitting in this chair. I got this stuff behind me. It was last minute, so
Right.
no, absolutely. And it's relieving, man, when you really know that, Derek, and it's like a load off your chest. It's like, whoa, And listen, here's another quote he teaches me: your authenticity is your superpower.
Right.
Quit trying to be like everybody else.
Can't
And
do
that was
it.
freeing for me, man. Like your hairstyle, your glasses, your shirt, the music you listen to.
Right.
And man, I'm everywhere. Like I'm a different guy. And I'm starting to express that more, of course, through my music and on my
Right.
Instagram and social media and what he said is social media is to find your people.
Right.
It's to express yourself, and the law of attraction. You're going to attract the people that they can tell you're genuine. They can tell you're authentic by what you say and by what you do.
And if you're fake people will follow you.
That's right. Hey, listen, and there's a bunch of those. That's where the money is. Listen, there. That's where the money is. Being fake, because there's a lot of fake people, and I understood that. But no, you're exactly right.
Yeah. So tell me before you go, man. I know you got a lot popping, but tell me about the discipline part, because that's what scares people off. Is they think that they got to go to the army, they got to be regimented, and they have to never ever look at a potato chip again.
Yeah.
So tell me about the actual title that I picked was "Sacrifice Creates Paradise." So let's talk about that, because I know exactly what you mean, but this is your port, so why don't you share it?
Yeah. Listen, I always say this, so I offend a lot of people. Obviously, if you're going to stand, if you stand on something, and so I'll tell you this much: like I did it for my family. Okay, you got to find something that motivates you, and so for the discipline thing. Even with the coaching, I do it for my clients. I do it for my people, and I do a little extra. I wake up really early. I eat as clean as possible. I don't expect my family to do that. I don't expect my clients to do that. I do that because I got people dependent on me. So, a lot of people is that self-motivation because they're only, like we talk about, it's all about self. And to me, if you're going to be selfish like that, I can't help you because I don't understand that. I don't resonate with that. And there's a lot of people that can be super disciplined and it's all about self. But if I was doing this for me, I'd have quit a long time ago.
Okay.
Right. I do this for inspiration, and I know what my coach did for me. And he gets up at 2:45 every day, and he was in prison for 10 years, and he got out. And in 4 years, I don't know how much he's worth, but he probably makes $2 or $3 million a month by doing exactly nutrition and fitness. So he's one of the hardest workers I know. And so that's what pushed me. And he says that's why he does it, because he knows he's got, meth, he's got drug addicts, he's got alcoholics that are dependent on him to get up, and he can lead by example. And so I'll be honest with you, man. That's why I do it.
Okay.
That's where I gather my strength from, is knowing that people depend on me. My wife's watching me. My kids are watching me. And then as you do it, you find out your friends are watching you. And it's that motivation. And you can use it for the hate or the good. I also know there's a bunch of people wanting me to quit. I know there's a lot of people that I'm making uncomfortable by doing this. And so, you can take the positive and the negatives, but that's why I do it. I do it because I know how much I'm helping people. And that's that. And so, like I said, there's other people that'll tell you a different answer, and everything may work for them. That's what works for me. And I'm not saying I'm the most selfless person ever. I'm just saying, like, I wake up thinking about other people, man. I got some great clients. I got some crazy stories of things that people are struggling with and dealing with, Derek. And like I said today, if you think you don't have it bad, you live in America, don't feel sorry for yourself. And there's a lot of people that's hurting, And so I do it for those people and the people watching me. And I know there's a lot of people watching me that's not signed up with me that gets inspiration. They send me messages and tell me, hey, thank you for what you're doing. And man, you talk about getting sparked back up, because man, I have low spots too. But just knowing that you're, making a difference with what you're doing, and that just like you, making these podcasts and you're helping people, and sometimes you don't feel like it because you don't hear it, but man, people are watching. People are.
You're right. You're right. I like what you said about using that energy, be it good or bad. As an ex-athlete, man, they always talk about, there's home court advantage, and there is some advantage to that. But I used to love, if people were booing, it was great. We're going to help you boo louder.
You're wired different. Yeah, you're wired different. Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah. And of course, when you were at home, you want to perform for the people that come out. And
it's more pressure. Yeah.
But it didn't matter to me which side, if they were, if I was home or away and they were booing, I loved it. It was great. Let me give you something to really go home and be mad about.
Yeah, for sure. No, you got to use that fuel for. Now, what did you play?
I played football.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a football player. So.
Now, who did you play for?
I played for Bowling Green State University, man. It's a mid-American conference school.
I know Bowling Green. Yeah.
So in any event, man, I respect greatly the work that it takes. I think very clearly what people don't realize is that what you see on the outside is a reflection of what's on the inside. And
you can't say it any better than that.
Yeah, and when I look at you and we listen to you, and we know that the hard work that you do on the outside, the discipline, because you just can't wake up and be fit. You just can't wake up and have clarity. And so when you're eating right, you're getting those physical results. It doesn't matter what the scale says, like you said, but it just represents all the work that you do, and the goodness that's inside of you, and the discipline that's inside, and that you're living your truth. And that's important for you. And then people can honestly respect the fact that they may not like it, but they can respect the fact that you're a hardworking man, and that your results don't lie, and that you wake up every day and you do what you have to do.
Absolutely. And hey, man, this bleeds over into the money too. It bleeds over into trading, bleeds into everything. Doing the same, like whatever your process is. I study trading a lot, and a lot of the traders, they'll say the only way they fail is if they get off their process. You're going to lose money, but just sticking and staying with it day after day after day, and it'll pay off. And I guess that's my message too, is don't give up.
Don't give up. I love it.
If you got a good process, stick to it, stick to your guns, and it's going to work for sure.
Crack your own code. Well, man, listen, we appreciate that inspiration. We appreciate that parting word. I'm going to post your Instagram. Do you have any other site that you'd like us to share?
Man, that's really all I got. It's Instagram there. Yeah. And if anybody's got any questions on fitness, nutrition, hey, listen, I'm not a salesy, pitchy person. If you got any questions about nutrition, fitness, I'm here to help for sure. So if you got anything, man, definitely reach out.
Love your story, man. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you take the words that Lane shared to heart. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter what your education level is. He has everything, and he uses both sides, right? He's got the education and he's got the street smarts, and he uses it to create a lifestyle for him, his family, his wife, and his kids that represents the joy, the passion, and the happiness in helping others and helping his family. So we ask you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We know that the more we come together, the more we share, the more we experience, the better off we'll be. I'm Derick Gant. I want you to be your best, bring your best, leave nothing to chance.